So I'm finally getting rid of my N10J, and I found something that's better. And if you want to know what it is, you better stick around. I'll show you next. Alright, check it out guys. Today we're going to take a look at the N10Jh from ASUS now. If you know about the N10J, you know that I'm obsessed with it. I have my very own, and I love it to death. I take it with me just about everywhere. It's got great battery life. It's got the 9300 mobile GS chipset in there, so that you can actually output HDMI and get HD quality video out there. So regardless of the anemic Atom processor, you can still actually produce some HD content, 1080p, throw it out to a big TV. You can play simple games, stuff like that. It's an awesome netbook. It comes with a huge 320 gig hard drive. I actually upgraded mine to an SSD, but there is improvements to be made in a device like this, and here is the latest revision of it. Basically, from the outside, you're going to see it looks almost identical. Everything is absolutely, as far as looks go, color, shape, size, everything is about the same, but there are some internal features that have been improved, and they've been improved significantly, starting off with the display on this. Now, it's the same 1024 by 600 10.2-inch LCD, but now it's an LED-backed LCD. What does that mean? It means it's going to save you a little bit of battery power. It's going to give you a little bit more luminance, which is your brilliance, how bright it goes, and it's also going to give you a little more contrast ratio, since individual LEDs in the background can turn off to, reduce the light going through to the LCD. So that's one of the first things you're going to notice. You're also going to notice they've had the upgraded NVIDIA video cards. Now, before it was the 9300 mobile GS graphics card. It was a discrete card on a chip. It's still a discrete card. It uses the mini PCI Express bus. It's built into the motherboard inside of this netbook, but now it's the newer version of it. It's been renamed, so don't get confused, because I got a little confused even. It's the GeForce G105M. So it's a whole new naming structure, but basically the architecture is the same as a 9400 GS. Basically, you're going to get the same stream processors, the same memory, etc., etc. 512 megabytes of VRAM is what it has now, so it did get a frame buffer boost, which is nice. Beyond that, everything else has kind of remained the same, but of course, if you know, the N10J is a premium netbook. It has the best of all the stuff that you could want on a netbook. So whereas everyone else uses an N270, this is actually using an N280 Atom processor. It goes 1.66 gigahertz versus 1.6, and it operates on the 660 megahertz frontside bus instead of the 557, which is a little bit slower. Actually, 567, whatever it is. It's actually a faster frontside bus, and so you get the faster frequency. The memory is still the same, but that's also better than most netbooks, because you're getting 2 gigabytes versus 1. That is clocked at 667. It's a single SODIMM chip that fits in there, so you're at 2. Can't really upgrade to 4, but 2 is more than enough than you need. And as you can see here, this is running Vista. As you can see, 32 bits, going to take about 1 gig to run. You'll have a gig free. If you want to upgrade to Windows 7, then you have a gig and a half free, because that only takes 512 to run. And that's the best part. You actually get an upgrade to Windows 7 when you buy this computer. Again, it doesn't have Windows XP. They're not getting a really low-end operating system. They actually are paying money for Vista. That's why the price of this is a little bit higher. But you do get that great Windows 7 upgrade, which is really popular, and is going to make this netbook go even faster than it already does with the faster processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and the very nice video card that it comes with now. Moving along, I just want to let you guys know that you don't always have to use that video card, the G105M. It's not always on, and I'll tell you why. Look over here. If you zoom in right over here, we have a little switch right there, and basically what that switch does is it's switchable graphics. That means that you can use your GMA 950 onboard integrated chipset, graphics chipset, or you can switch it on, the video card on, and use the G105M. That means that you're going to save battery when you're not looking at big videos. When you're just surfing the web looking at YouTube stuff, that stuff happens on the CPU anyway. You can use that. Or if you're going to, throw a big file on there, or play a DVD that you ripped, or a Blu-ray that you ripped onto your computer, then you can go ahead and turn that on. Or if you're going to play a game, turn it on. It's going to waste a little more battery, but you do have the option of switching it off. So that is a awesome, awesome feature, especially on a netbook. Another thing you'll notice that's really cool on this netbook is right next to it, HDMI output. That's incredible. That's what lets you, that's pretty much for me one of the best selling points in this netbook. It means that when you plug it into a big TV, you're going to get 1920 by 1080p resolution. You're going to be able to use your netbook screen up on that television. You're also going to be able to play 1080p files, movies, videos. You can entertain your friends. You can surf the web on it. Really, really great feature to have on a netbook. Also, you're going to see you have 2 USB 2.0 ports, and finally over here you have an on-off switch for your Wi-Fi, which is NDRAFT, I may add, 300 megabit per second. Very, very fast, goes very far, almost 1,000 meters. I'm sorry, 300 meters, which is about 1,000 feet. Moving on to the front, you're going to see right here, there's not much going on in the front, but you will notice that there is a SD card reader right here. It's actually a multi-card reader. Do about 8 media cards in total, so your MMS and your MMS Pros and all that good stuff is going to work on that card reader. You have indicator lights right up here in the front for your power, your battery, your Bluetooth, and your Wi-Fi. You also have up here by this scrolling trackpad, you have a fingerprint reader, which is really handy to have, and something, again, you don't see on netbooks. Very rarely do you see a fingerprint reader on a netbook. It just isn't very common. It adds costs to the netbooks, and the whole point is to keep them low. Again, this is a premium netbook. If you want something that's really, really nice, this is what you're going to like. Moving on to the other side of the netbook, check this out. This is another thing you never see on netbooks. An express card slot is built in right there. It can also hold your SD and MS cards inside of there. It's like a little caddy, so if you don't actually have a peripheral loaded in here, you can use it to store your SD cards inside. You also have your input and your output for your headset and your microphone. Keep in mind that the output for your microphone is or for your headset, is actually an SP diff. So it will do multiple channels of audio out. You have your third USB 2.0 port right there, a VGA in case you want to use an external monitor that isn't HDMI equipped. You also have your 10100 1000 Ethernet. So most netbooks come with 10100. This is 10100 1000. So it's literally 10 times faster as far as Ethernet connectivity goes than your regular netbook. And then finally, the power adapter is on the back. Now, other really cool things to notice on this netbook, right up here at the top, we have a 1.3 megapixel webcam. Lets you communicate very easily. You also want to take note that when you're looking at this keyboard, it is literally 100% keyboard. It's basically the same size keys that you would get on a full-size laptop, which is really incredible. That's one of the things that drew me to the N10J when I first got the previous model of it, was that the keys were so big, it was really useful, and you have all these function keys. The function keys are really good on this. The way they're laid out, they're very intuitive as to where they should be placed on the keyboard. So hitting function and hitting the sleep button is F1, or switching between monitors is F8. If you want to lower the volume, it's F11 and F12. Mute is F10. Really easy to use, really intuitive. Your finger kind of just lands there all the time. I love the way that they set up the keyboard on here. And the final two best things on here is, don't forget that it's a ASUS product, so you have a 2-year global warranty on it, which means that anywhere in the world they will service the product for you. They also will help you over the web if you have any problems. They'll actually log in with a remote desktop, and they'll have an associate assist you over the web, so you don't have to take it in if something goes wrong. If it still turns on, they'll help you over the web. That's an incredible deal to have from ASUS. It's really good stuff. And the final thing is that you have a 4,800 milliamp hour battery on here. So that's a 6-cell battery. Sticks out just a tad, as you can see right there. But I guarantee you, you will love it, because you get about 6 hours. If you dim the screen and you turn off the video card, you can get 6.5 hours, and that's incredible. It really goes for quite a long time. So the N10JH, it's the new update to the N10J, which, as you know, is one of my favorite netbooks ever. I'm pretty much going out here on a limb and saying that it is my favorite netbook here. I've had mine for just under a year, and I couldn't imagine living without it. So an even better version is just awesome. So really good stuff. If you have any questions on it, feel free to email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the ASUS N10JH Netbook, type in A50-10201 into the search engine of any of these major retailers. For Computer TV, I'm Albert.